Hello DigiFam, it is Prodigious. Today I'm going to bring you a quick little update in terms of the last new cards that got revealed for AD01, as well as go over a quick little hot take in terms of cards that we may or may not see get hit on the new ban restriction list. This is something I've been meaning to try and do, but I've been busy this week. But right now, this very weekend, in case you didn't know, Worlds is going on right now, and usually after the event that is Worlds for Digimon card game is usually when they announce the new bans and restriction lists. So sometime within the next 24 hours, I promise you I will give you a live update as soon as I know what cards it is that we get, along with any other news that will be affecting us going forward. But first, let's go ahead and get into it, and I want to go over the last of the new cards that has been revealed, along with just anything else that might pop up on the list here of the upcoming AD01 reprint set. Now, this set has over 200 cards, but about 24 of them are brand spanking new. So let's get into it and see what the new stuff is. Alright, so as you can see here on the worlddigimon.com website here, they finally actually had the quote-unquote official list. I do hate they had the sample word on these things nowadays, but anyway. So some of these cards I went over in the previous video, but I'm going to try and cover some of the newest cards that got revealed. So, starting off, for anyone who thinks that the ace cards are dead and they're trying to get away from them, you're wrong. Because here we have a Gaiamon ace. This is the Appmon type of card. Now, I've never been big on the Appmon stuff myself personally, but let's get into it and see what this card does. So it's a level 6. It can have a play cost of just 7. Evos on any level 5, red for 4. Or it can do the whole weird Appmon shenanigans for 4 from any color there. At Fusion, Globemon, and Cherismon cost 0. Hand Counterblast, the usual stuff that you'll see involving aces and then whatever it is you do with the Appmon stuff. Security Attack Plus, Blocker plus Link 1. On play, when Digivolve, when attacking, but only once per turn. You may link up to 2 Social, Navi, or Tool trait cards from your hand or this Digimon's Digivolution cards to this Digimon without paying the cost. Then you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. So that sounds pretty impressive to me. But one of the newest cards that got revealed that I definitely want to go over pertains mainly to some new War Greymons and Metal Garurumons that we're going to have that go towards the new Omnimon and are also considered Adventure trait as well as Hero trait. So here we have the War Greymon half. It's black and red, can evo from any level 5 black or red for 4, or evos from a level 5 with Greymon in its name, or with the Adventure trait or Hero trait for a cost of 3. It has Raid, Piercing, as well as on play when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. All turns, this Digimon gets 1000 DP for each of your tamer's colors and gains Security Attack plus 1 for every 3 such colors. So that's an interesting take. This is kind of like combining the Raid War Greymon plus the promo War Greymon we got back in the Adventure set. And then here's the kicker. End of your turn, one of your Digimon may attack. So, all good stuff right there that we've been seeing. Although I'm kind of tired of the whole end of your turn, something can attack, despite stuff, but it just seems to be how the game is going forward nowadays. That's another topic for another day. But last but not least, we have when attacking as an inheritable, once per turn, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon in its name. And of course, we have a nice looking alternate art that we can look forward to getting of him. And I'm going to kind of jump around here, and I'm going to try to find his counterpart, Metal Garurumon. So this is the newest version of a Metal Garurumon that we have. This is not an ace. It's blue and purple, so it can work with either of those colors. It can evolve for 4 on a blue or purple level 5 for 4. And the same thing as our Greymon friend. He can digivolve from a level 5 with Garurumon in name or with the adventure trait or hero trait for a cost of 3. He has blocker and evade. On play, when digivolving, when attacking, once per turn, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. Then, for every 2 of your tamer's colors, one of your opponent's Digimon or tamers can't suspend until their turn ends. And then last but not least, we have all turns once per turn. When any of your Digimon suspend, this Digimon may unsuspend. So, that's a very nice combination right there. We have blocker plus the evade, plus that all turns effect. It kind of reminds me of the secret rare Metal Garurumon that we got a while back that can warp Evo. It has the ability to get rid of level 5s, and then it can also, for every 2 colors, make it so that way something of your opponent's tamers or Digimon can't suspend. And then last but not least, of course, it is adventure hero trait, but inheritable when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, one of your opponent's Digimon or tamers can't suspend until their turn ends. So something to consider is these 2 new versions of the War Greymon and Metal Garurumon here for the adventure hero trait. Because they have the inheritables written as they are, these are great targets, not just for Omnimon, but to also go ahead and go into an X antibody form. So keep that in mind. And once again, we have a nice looking alternate art to look forward to right there for him. Now, sticking to the whole Metal Garurumon and Greymon train, we actually have some of my personal favorites that I'd like to see more of. We got a new versions of Blitz Greymon and Crest Garurumon, along with some so beautiful alternate arts to look forward to that is coming out of this set. So, we have Blitz Greymon here. It has Alliance, Piercing, and Blocker. It's also considered adventure trait. On play, when digivolving, de-digivolve 3, one of your opponent's Digimon. Then until your opponent's turn ends, their Digimon effects don't affect this Digimon and one of your Digimon with Garurumon in its name. So it automatically gets all kinds of great keywords. Alliance, Piercing, Blocker. It gets to de-digivolve. And on top of it, if you have the partner Digimon out, him and the partner are protected. But that's not all of it. We also have end of your turn. 2 of your Digimon may DNA digivolve into an Omnimon Alter S in hand. So it is referring directly to an Omnimon Alter S. So this is great for the new Alter S that we got back in, I believe it is EX, I want to say, I think it was 9, where it was all the DM trait stuff, but we also got a couple of sprinklings of Crest Garurumon and Blitz Greymon and Alter S stuff in that set. So, yeah. Being able to DNA into Omnimon Alter S in the hand, then one of your Digimon may attack. Oof. But that's not the kicker. The kicker here is it's also got an assembly -4 cost. So that means if you actually have Metal Greymon Alterus mode and Greymon in your hand or on the field, you can do like a little assembly cross thing and bring this guy out for only 4 cost versus his initial play cost of 12. And then, of course, it has the inheritable of security attack +1. That is sick. And then going into Caress Garurumon, much similar. He's got the double color of blue and black. Evos on top of the Garurumon and name, adventure trait. He has keywords of alliance and evade. He has on play, when digivolving, when attacking, once per turn. You may return one of your opponent's lowest level Digimon to the hand. Then this Digimon and one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name may unsuspend. So again, if you have the corresponding partner when this thing comes out and when it attacks, it gets to unsuspend. You combine this with the other one, you're able to swing with one, alliance with the other, and then you can unsuspend, and then you can keep them up as blockers. You can keep this guy up for his evade, or you can go ahead and just go ham and go for another swing with alliance. But that's not all. He also has the assembly, just like we saw on Greymon, as well as opponent's turn, once per turn. When one of your opponent's Digimon attacks, 2 of your Digimon may DNA Digivolve into Omnimon Alter S in the hand. Then you may change the attack target to one of your Digimon. So think about it. You have both bodies on board. They swing. You're able to DNA. Get whatever when digivolving effects you have off of that off. And change the attack target to whoever you want instead of your security. And then last but not least, it has the inheritable of this Digimon's attack target can't change. Ugh. Such good stuff. And it's not on an ace body. I love it. And again, killer art right there. So I don't know about you, but any other fellow Metal Garurumons and War Greymons and Omnimon lovers, we're eating very well with this set. But enough about Omnimon. Let's go ahead and move on and check out some of the other new cards we got. Actually, no, wait, I lied. We do have a couple of cards to go over that does pertain to Adventure. We get 2 new double-colored tamers that work with adventure and hero traits. And these do aim towards the Omnimon stuff. So first up, we have Matt Ashita and TK Takashi in a blue and yellow dual tamer for a cost of 3. Start of your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. Your turn. When any of your Digimon digivolve into an adventure trait Digimon, by suspending this tamer, you may play 1 adventure trait card from your hand. For every 2 of your tamer's colors, reduce this effect's play cost by 1. So, unlike the previous dual color tamers that we saw back in the adventure deck that came out, this is pertaining to actually digivolving versus hard playing. But you're able to reduce the digivolution cost based off of your colors versus reducing the play cost. And also, you're able to play an adventure trait card. Alright. So with that being said, let me show you the other one that we have here. It is going to be Izzy Izumi and Tai Kamiya in green and red. Start of your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain a memory. So both the same right there. Your turn. When any of your other adventure trait Digimon or tamers are played, by suspending this tamer, one of your Digimon may digivolve into an adventure trait Digimon card in the hand. For every 2 of your tamer's colors, reduce this effect's Digivolution cost by 1. So again, we have some new shenanigans going on that works with the adventure/hero decks. And of course, you can look forward to getting some alternate arts of them too that captures scenes from the first Digimon movie. Alright, now I believe there is going to be another new card here. So I've never been a big fan for the Ghost Game stuff. I don't know if I actually covered this card in my previous video or not, but we'll take a quick look at it. Let's see. Cirrusmon. Raid, security attack +1, blocker. Actually, I think we have covered this in my previous video, so I'm going to skip that. It's been a while now. It's been a hot minute. I can't quite remember. Oh, wait. Here we go. Here's a card that I believe I did not go over last time. It is a Zeeg Greymon, who actually has a rule box trait that says he's considered to be Crossheart. I believe one of the biggest issues with the Crossheart deck has been the fact that all of the Zeeg Greymon stuff that you need to mix in with the Crossheart stuff has always been considered just blue flare. So this new Zeeg Greymon has a rule box text trait that says that. It has reboot, blocker. It can evo on a blue flare or a Crossheart trait for a cost of 3. On play, when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the fewer Digivolution cards. All turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, other than by Digicrossing, you may play one level 5 or lower blue flare or Crossheart trait. So, all in all, not too bad. I think when it comes to like decks like the Shoutmon EX6 type of builds, this will be the Zeeg Greymon you need to grab and replace the other one that we used to have with this. Let's see, I'm trying to scramble and see what some of the new cards are that I know I need to definitely go over since my last video that covered this. I normally would love to try and cover all the cards in one video, but I don't want to just sit here and go over the same cards again that I did previously. Let's see, skimming through here. So yeah, we got a lot of reprints. Of course, we're getting a lot of gold foil bordered cards as well. I think the biggest issue with this reprint set is going to come down to the actual ratios of like how many of what do you pull out of a pack. Oh, here we go. Here's another card to make a quick note of. It's nothing really new, but apparently they are including the Mega Gargomon Ace that we got out of the Terriermon and Lotmon's advanced deck in this set, and it will also be able to come in a gold border version. We're also getting the Growlmon that came out of the starter deck back in his heyday. We're also getting the Adventure Promo War Greymon. Oh, here we go. We're also getting the much-needed reprint of the dual-color Shadramon promo card. We're also getting the dual-color Mega Carboterimon promo card. And the promo Vidramon in this set as well. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of some new toys coming our way, along with some awesome alt arts. But again, I'm just not sure if this is a set that, if you're already like me and have been buying into a lot of the previous sets, you probably don't need this. You're probably going to be buying singles or just buying strictly just the new cards. But I will say, if you have missed out on the previous last few sets back in the beginning, this is a set to not sleep on. The only thing I can say again is just be careful about those pull rates, because that will make or break this set in terms of how much you actually get out of a box. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else here like new that I can see that stands out. And I don't think there's anything else really here to cover that I didn't cover before. So yeah, it's a very nice set. I'm looking forward to it just so I can snack up some of these singles for a cheaper price. But most of all, so that way I can 100% get the new cards that we have coming out of this set. But on to another topic that I want to quickly throw out there. So, as I said before, right now, currently, Worlds is going on. There's going to be a new ban restriction list. I was going to try and throw together my own list of cards I think that could be ending up on the ban restriction list, but let's face it, a lot of YouTubers out there have done it, and there's all kinds of speculations about what could be going on the list, and some people are even asking for stuff to come off the list. I even know of some people in my local Digimon scene who, for whatever reason, is thinking they might go ahead and introduce rotation. Personally, I could be wrong. If I am, I am. But personally, I don't think we're going to see any announcement of rotation. The game is power crept enough in a way of where you're constantly going to be playing mostly the new stuff. We're not going to get a rotation. I really don't see it happening. So if you're one of those people thinking that we're going to finally get an announcement for rotation because of this reprint set, if I'm wrong, then so be it. But in reality, I don't think even if it did happen, it's not going to change anything. That's just my hot take on that. But as for speculations on what could be on the ban restriction list, we really don't know. And honestly, the game is in a very awkward state right now. They are continuously printing more and more new cards. The game is getting more and more faster. And even with the latest couple of new sets of where they base it around the previous like Digimon video games, such as Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory, and now the newest set of Time Stranger, the way they design these cards and decks, they're making them to where they can be used in whatever archetype you want, like normal, but they're aiming for you trying to use it within the archetypes that are meant for, well, the game, like Cyber Sleuth with Cyber Sleuth, instead of you being able to use like a Agumon with anything Agumon and Wargreymon related, just as an example. They want you to mainly use it with Cyber Sleuth stuff. Maybe it can be slot into something for Omni. The Time Stranger stuff is really interesting, but also very awkward because it's trying to make it stay within the confines of just that term. I really meant to make a video going over how the game could continue to see more and more sets of where they really change it up and make it like the adventure stuff was, or like how we're going to basically be seeing it now. And how we're even going to see just stuff in general that is listed as not so much the archetypes like we know and love so far, but under like surnames. I mean, we even have a new deck coming out later on that's going to be based off of Digimon Data Squad. And even though, yes, it's going to have, of course, everyone's favorite of Marcus Damon and Agumon and Shine Greymon, it is going to more than likely be like the adventure deck, where it's going to have the other Data Squad Digimons in different colors, and they're going to be able to only work within their colors / within just Data Squad stuff. So you could literally have maybe like a Geo Greymon Evo into a I'm having a brain fart on it right now, like Mirage Galgamon type of thing. So yeah, it's just going to be very interesting, but it's also going to mix things up in a way that I think just kind of turns it into like a mix of things. So I'm not really sure how to feel about it. It's like, personally, this is just me talking my own opinion. I like it when decks stay within certain confines of like their evolutionary line or types to a degree. And Digimon's always been a fun game because you can do that, but you can also branch off and do whatever you want, as long as you stay within, in the beginning of the confines of at least your colors. But now that they're trying to lean more away from the colors and making it more about certain archetype, or actually not even archetypes is the word, more like subclasses of, like, say, for example, like the CS or Time Stranger and such, it's just, I don't know. I have weird feelings towards it personally. I don't know how to really put it into words. Maybe some of you out there might understand what I'm saying. Maybe some of you might even feel the same way. Then again, I might be going on deaf ears on that part. But yeah, it's just a interesting time to be into Digimon card game. But if you've been here as long as some of the people who were here back when it first started, it definitely does not feel the same as it was. And with that being said, like I mentioned earlier, some people in my circles are hoping for a rotation. Rotation will not do anything. Like, it's not going to happen, and even if it did happen, it's not going to change a thing. Because everyone's still going to be mainly playing with mostly the newest and hottest stuff. And if there's a certain type of deck or build that you like, you'll just have to gravitate towards whatever is the closest thing that is the newest stuff that does what you like, until they decide to revisit the Digimon types that you like and rebuild them to be the style you like again. But again, that's all just me saying, hey, that's what people in my inner circles are kind of wanting to have happen, but I don't see it. And if it did, it wouldn't change anything. As for the ban restriction list, again, I will bring you news of that as soon as it's announced. I was going to try and make my own little list. There's a lot of cards for various decks that I personally feel like should be hit, and there's also a lot of cards that definitely need to be hit. Some people are even saying we should bring some stuff back off of the ban restriction list. Personally, I'm kind of in the same boat, but not really on that. Like, some people are saying we should bring back, like, say, the Where Garurumon promo, the Doro Greymon for Security Attack Plus, the Greymon X Antibody that's Limit 1 that has 2 colors and says that when you Evo, you get to Evo for -1 cost per turn for each color that's on that Digimon. Stuff like that. I mean, personally, the game has gotten to where it's so fast. Yes, those things could probably come off the list, but then that would just generate a whole new issue in terms of certain decks coming back and being problematic. And we already have plenty of problematic cards and decks that are reigning around right now. So, really, I couldn't really come up with a list right now in terms of what we might see. I know there's a lot of things. You can watch a bunch of other YouTubers and see what they speculate could be on that list. But really, there's a lot of things that probably need to be hit. I will say a YouTuber that I do enjoy listening to his content. I don't always agree with everything he says, but he is just like me, I think, in the fact that we both love this IP, we both love this game. That is Zenitsu. I would definitely check him out. So shout out to Zenitsu. But something that he has been saying for a long time now, and he's also saying that right now more than ever, if the game does not start having more check and balances by having more ban restriction lists more often, the game is just not going to be doing too well. But that also depends mainly on how they handle doing newer cards and newer effects. So it's really, there's no way of really knowing for certain. With that being said, I think in case you can't tell as of late, I've actually stepped back from ever trying to be competitive with this game. I do try and keep at least a finger on the pulse when it comes to what is competitive. But as you can see from some of my recent content, I'm just doing stuff mainly for fun. So, like my Digital Gate tournament that I've been posting on here, there's not a lot of decks that's like meta right now that I'm playing on there, because quite frankly, there's just a bunch of decks I love that came out before the newer stuff. Nothing wrong with the newer stuff, I just like the older stuff. Now, personally, again, just to throw it out there, my opinion, this game is getting to where it's faster and faster. I still enjoy it. But really, this game is a niche within a niche. So I think for the fans that love it and the people that want to continue supporting it, all I can say is if you do want to play competitively, all more to you. I wouldn't mind occasionally playing something semi-competitive, but I'm mainly just going to keep it casual. But with that being said, if this game doesn't start having some serious things happen to it, whether it be ban restriction list or better designs for the card game, I mean, there's just so many factors involved. I hate to say it, but this game is starting to look bit by bit more like Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is sad. Now, we're nowhere near as bad as Yu-Gi-Oh!, but with enough time, with the pace they're going, it can be. That is something that Zenitsu has made some comparisons to himself, and I tend to agree. So, yeah, I would just like to see this game maybe have something done. Like, just toss it out there while I have you all here for a second. I feel like maybe the game needs to have something done along the lines of like how, I don't know, even Yu-Gi-Oh! Introduced a new format in the terms of, I think it's called Genesis. Even Magic the Gathering's Commander has what they call a bracket system. You know, just something needs to be done so that way the game can still continue to be at its fast pace, but also have something to help kind of check and balance itself better. So, I don't know. I love the freedom that the game offers, but there's just so many different bad combinations. Yeah, as for what could be on the ban restriction list, I have no idea. A random just hot take of my own. of a card that I think needs to definitely be put on the ban restriction list is, I think, the Galactimon deck that has the option card that he can just search for once he hits his certain level 6 and then put it into play. And then when he swings, if there's nothing on the board to delete and the opponent only has like one Digimon, they delete it, to automatically be able to frickin' reduce the opponent's security down to only one security card is ridiculous. So if you're a Galactimon fanboy, I'm sorry. I just feel like that card is a bit much. That should never have been printed the way that it was. So if that thing, in my opinion, definitely needs to be put down to 1. Because getting at least 1 use out of that card is plenty enough. But anyway, like I said, I'm not going to really try and speculate what could be on the ban restriction list. There is so many cards, and they're making so many new cards. It's just hard to say. So yeah, just stay tuned. Sometime within the next less than 24 hours, there will be a announcement of what is to come when it comes to the ban restriction list and when it will be in effect. And we will just have to wait and see. This has been Prodigious and my own little quick update in terms of the new cards from AD01, as well as anyone's guess as to what the ban restriction list will be. And I will see you in the next one.